These borders that you create silos for yourselves amongst, you must always remember, are not your creation. These were creations of people outside of this continent who made these borders not to develop you, but to extract from you. Now that you want to develop yourself, we must start looking at these borders and we must start removing the barriers that we have put, that have defined and defined us in the past and now hinder us from being the giant that we should be.
East Africa might just become an African great power because members of states are among the fastest growing economies in the world. Let us start from here. Nigeria is Africa's most populous country. By some projections, it will surge to the second spot at the top of the global demographic table by 2100, behind only India. However, there is a now real sneaky possibility that the East African community, should it federate as it aimed to do, might steal Nigeria's thunder. Earlier this month, the Democratic Republic of the Congo acceded to the East Africa community, swelling the bloc by 94 million people and doubling its territories. The East Africa community now has about as many people as the United States and covers more of the planet than India. It stretches like the world's great transcontinent countries, a more Yusko and Mare, from the Indian Ocean to the Atlantic. Before the Democratic Republic of Congo joined, it consisted of Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, and South Sudan. Let us look on frictious relations. The bloc has been in existence in some form for nearly a century, with its origin in the common colonial history of Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. Upon independence from United Kingdom in the area of 60s, these three countries maintained an extended joint stewardship of various services like education and railway. The community collapsed in 70s for multiple reasons. The main one was that everyone had come to despise everyone else. Uganda was ruled by its most famous Idi Amin. Tanzania had adopted an unrealistic economic system, and Kenya felt it wasn't getting the big boy respect it deserved. A party of collapse, all the common services were linked, giving rise to some of members' states' most important institutions: national airlines, railway, currencies, and major education institutions. Over the next 23 years, each country charted its own path through history. Let us look on difficulties. The delay are not circumstantial. A lot of hurdles stand in the way of federation. For one, where are wide disparities in economic development among the member states. Kenya, which is home to mere 6 of the region's new combined population, account for nearly half of its normal GDP of USD 250 billion. The states also differ a lot politically. Uganda and Rwanda are ruled by a pair of political dissonances. Burundi is an oppressive recluse. Kenya democratic feel contrived. Tanzania is a stable giant held back by its legacy of socialism. South Sudan, along with a large part of the Democratic Republic of Congo, can't shake off civil conflict. Additionally, decades of separation independence have left the citizens of each member state with some semblance of a distinct national identity, which often drives outbursts of toxic nationalism. The desire for the federation doesn't register as deep as it once might have, especially for those who live far from borders and so have little in common with those on the borders. Hopes and dreams of East Africa Federation. More realistic observes, consults, patent and steady hands. They lay out reasons for hope, like the fact that the member states are some of the fastest growing economies in the world, that the Democratic Republic of Congo vast minerals wealth can now be more judicially administered under the framework of the community, that the collective market will be more attractive to foreign investment, and that democracy is developing steadily, if slowly, across the bloc. They are a third group of observers made up of hopeless romantics like some of them who live close to the borders and belong to the ethnic community they share into different countries, and they are perhaps little-eyed about the spectacular success of a certain federative experiment on the western side of the North Atlantic. Speaking for this group, I'm tempted to pronounce that caution is such things only saps our collective energy and needless delays what most important. More than once I have thought that federation should have been the first step. Africa needs a great power, and only the East Africa community has any real odds of becoming one while I live. As I know it won't happen so fast, and maybe that for the best. Even Moses didn't get to enter the promised land in the meantime. I take what I get with gratitude.